What's up, Run fam? It's your boy Cecil Smith here with a review of a Hoka. You know what? It's the Hoka One One Rincon, and yeah, Rincon. I want to say Rincon all the time, but I believe it's Rincon. This video may be cursed if you're watching it, just so you know. And the only reason I say this is because I've tried to make it like 8 times already, and something always happens. So you know what? I'm just gonna roll with it. Anyway, I've ran in these shoes for over 100 miles, and this is going to be my first review for a shoe where I put 100 miles plus on the shoe. So right now I've got about 120, 130 miles of running on the shoe, plus another probably 20 to 30 miles worth of just walking around, wear uh, type stuff on the shoe. And I'm going to get to the part that I think is probably the worst aspect of the shoe first. Not saying it's not a good shoe. I'm just saying if you're looking at a shoe, if you're thinking about getting it, this may turn you off first, okay? And that is the wear on the bottom of the shoes. So, like I said, 120, 130 miles of running, probably 150 miles or so total. And you can see just a lot of wear on the bottom of the shoe. Mostly, right in this area, this is probably where my foot strike is. Mostly, it's, mid to front foot. Do a little bit of heel striking going downhill. So there's wear even on the rubber down here. But what they did when they made the shoe, they tried to make it as light as possible, which is awesome. That's what you're paying for in this shoe, is you're paying for an extremely light shoe. And how they did that was they made the upper extremely light. The very, thin mesh material, one layer. It does have support in the middle part here, in the midfoot. But other than that, it's just the single mesh, which is exceptionally light. One thing I do like is the tongue of the shoe. It's actually like a real tongue. It's not one of those flimsy hard tongues or one of the booties where it's just kind of built into the shoe. It's an actual tongue, and it's a good material. But what they did when they made it was they just tried to make the shoe as light as possible. So they took out some filler here. I believe the beginning was like 7.9 ounces or less, maybe in 7.7 for a size 9 shoe. So size 10 and a half is probably in the eights, maybe a little bit less now with the wear on the bottom. But what they did is they didn't put a lot of outsole rubber on the shoe to lower the weight of the shoe. And what they did was form the midsole into tread. Now there's still a good bit of midsole on the shoe. It's got a ton of cushioning still. The shoe is still, it's not as responsive as it was when I first started. When I put the shoe on, it's like I just wanted to take off with it. I felt really fast. It's the first shoe that I've actually bought for specifically running. I've bought shoes to run in before, but I actually went to a running store, saw the shoe in some other videos, saw it online, some reviews of it, and I was like, man, I think I want to try that shoe to run in. And it's a good shoe. The other thing that I didn't like about it was I didn't like to run on a track. And maybe that was the track surface for the track that I have available to me, but it felt almost like a Velcro. Like when it hit the track and it was coming off, it just felt like you had to really pull your foot off. I wasn't a huge fan of that, and that may have been the outsole uh, of the shoe, where it's not the rubber. It's actually like probably a rubberized midsole, if you want to think of it that way to start with. It felt like it kind of dug into the track. On pavement, it's fine. Natural surface, dirt, gravel, stuff like that. She was absolutely fine. On a track, I did not like to run in it at all. Um, but if you can get the shoe for, I think it came out, it was $110, $115. If you can get the shoe for 70, $80, you can probably get 2 to 3 miles per dollar out of the shoe. So that's probably a pretty decent value. I still run in the shoe if it's going to be a dry day and it's mostly a flat area where I'm going to run. Like I said, I don't like the track, so I've got to pick mostly a flat area on pavement or concrete where I'm going to run. And the shoe is fine for that. I would not wear the shoe if it was wet out, if it was going to be a lot of hill work where it could be slippage or something like that. I probably wouldn't use the shoe for that. So I'm still going to run in the shoe. I'm still going to get probably another 100, 150 miles out of it. If not, my wife will probably beat me. So I will get use out of the shoe. I guarantee that. But I'm gonna really have to pick my spots when I wear the shoe. It's still got, you know, some good rigidity to it. It's still pretty solid. Where it does flex is just right here in this area where you would want that flex. It has what they call a meta rocker where it's supposed to, you know, kind of throw you along. It still does that, just not as good as it did when I first got the shoe. So 150 miles in, you know, like I said, 120 miles running or so. The shoe has wore down some, but with all the cushioning in it, it's still a viable running shoe. Um, would I recommend it? If you can get it for a good price, totally. But if you're looking to get a ton of miles out of the shoe, you're probably going to be disappointed with how fast the shoe wears, even if you know kind of pick your spots. I don't think I necessarily wore it in a really rough area where it was really digging the shoe apart. But you're going to have to really, you know, be careful with the shoe if you want to get a lot of longevity out of it. But that's my review for the Hoka One One Rincon. All right. Thanks. See you next time.